Hey guys, I'm Hassan Abdul Rahman, second gen owner of Purabang. Guys, a very good morning to everyone. Alhamdulillah, Allah has given us the opportunity to continue on living, to wake up, to still be able to breathe, to move, for us to continue on, to strive, to be a better person, to be better and improve in whatever that we are doing, be it in terms of our personal life, as an individual, and of course in terms of whatever that we are doing when it comes down to our work. So just reflecting back since the last video posted that I was sharing about how and why it became Pondok Abang. So today I want to share how I got involved in the business. So as a kid, when my parents were running Abang Muslim Food, usually during the weekends or the holidays, me and my elder sister would need to follow my parents to go to the shop. So we had to wake up early in the morning, maybe like 5 o'clock or what, then get ourselves ready, shower, then my dad would solat, then we would leave the house and the target is always to reach the shop by about 6 in the morning. Okay, so imagine as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old having to do this. It is very dreadful, I tell you. And sometimes I try my luck when my mom tries to wake me up. I would act as if I cannot wake up. Then my mom would tell my dad, hey, Hassan cannot wake up. So then depends on my luck. Sometimes my dad would say, oh, never mind, he's tired, just let him be, he do not need to follow. Or sometimes when really not enough people at the shop, then my dad will say, hey, cannot, force him to wake up, he need to follow and help. So that one bopian, I have to go. So what did I do as a kid at the shop? Initially I would go around and collect plates. So nowadays we have to put back our plates at the tray collection center, right? But before that, there were contractors collecting the plates. But before that, this was in the 90s, I think millennium period, where the stall owners themselves would need to arrange collection of their own plates. So that was my first task. I have to go around, collect the plates after people have finished eating. And then slowly I got upgraded. When I'm slightly older enough, I cannot, maybe about 9 years old, around there, 10 years old, I started to handle my first knife and started to do preparation work, cutting tahu, tempe, kopi pisang for the goreng pisang, a lot of things. And while doing that, my dad always taught, do not only focus on cutting. So you first crack some eggs and fry some eggs. While you are waiting for the eggs, you go cut something, so you are able to do two things at once. Then upgraded more to a person which serves the food, which prepares the food, and give it to the customers whenever they place an order. So I did that throughout my younger days as a kid, and all the way until my teenage years. So it wasn't very fun, to be honest. And later, at the later stage of my teenage years, I stopped helping my parents until I went into NS. Then during NS, I wanted to sign on, but I couldn't sign on because apart from not helping my parents, I was also not good in school. I didn't pass my math and most of my subjects actually. My humanities quite okay, but math hancur. Bukan hancur dan lebu. Rabak, So I went out to take my private O's. I took a 2-year course, private O. Did very well for humanities lah, history, geography, social studies, all very good. But all this math, science, all koyak. I couldn't go to any poly. The only route I could take was to ITE, and there is also only one course only at ITE that I could enter, which was early childhood learning. Then I was thinking to myself, what am I supposed to do? Right, so might as well I went to NS lah. Served 2 years as a firefighter. I think it was a life-changing experience because back then the training was really tough. Every single day I felt like dying, but I did not die. Then got me to become very disciplined, and I enjoyed the work, wanted to sign on, but unfortunately I didn't even have my O levels, or because there's no math and science on my O levels because I failed. So then I told my parents after NS I want to go back to school, and I was lucky that SIM had a foundation course that I could enter for 6 months. If I do well, I can bridge over to a diploma course. They call it DMS, Diploma in Management Studies. So Alhamdulillah, I got into the foundation program, did very well. During this period, apart from studying, my dad told me, look, you are just studying, not doing anything. I need you to help me at our shop, because as per usual, a lack of manpower. So I did. That was 2011. So during this period, 2011 onwards, I would say, is where I really started in Pondok Abang professionally. So 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, during this period, my dad actually trained me to manage one of the outlet. So he took out all the manpower. He taught me from scratch how to do preparation, how to cook, how to manage the outlet, every single thing. So around 2014 period, I was managing it quite well already, Alhamdulillah, and put in place some changes where we started utilizing POS system so that there is data, and most importantly, duit tak hilang, guys. Ini masalah banyak orang berniaga, duit hilang. So it's a problem lah up until now. And even if you speak to some other business owner also, when you say use POS, dia pun cakap POS pun duit pun boleh hilang. Tak masuk POS, jatuh bawah, selit tepi, that kind of thing. But another thing that I implemented was also CCTV lah. CCTV, and there is also a system where we are able to count how many chicken sold, this and that. So at the end of the day, we'll do all this kind of calculation lah, and everything needs to be accountable. So even if it's a piece of chicken part missing, we want to know why. So Alhamdulillah, so around 2014 period, when the shop is able to so-called operate by itself, manage, but I still come, but I spend most of my time at Pondok Abang Central Kitchen, where I started learning from my parents how to cook in larger batches. And this is where I started learning to cook paru, beef rendang, mutton rendang, masak merah in large batches. We are talking about 75 kilos plus and above per cooking cycle. So this is the period where I realised that the company actually has the potential to grow further, because during that period we were delivering maybe 2 locations, 3 locations, 5 locations per day. That's about it lah. So, and everything we had to do ourselves lah, meaning to say in the morning we'll come, we'll cook, after we cook then we'll make the delivery, we'll write the invoice, we will even call the customer on the same day to ask what do you want to order for today, then only we prepare. So that was how it was in the past. So that was up until 2014. And another key factor was that I saw my parents were aging, and I felt like as the only son, I should be able to do more to support them. So that's the reason why I told my parents, teach me how to cook. So the feeling of watching, especially your mom having to cook large batches, then penat, tangan sakit nak masak. So that impacted me lah, had an impact on me wanting to do something. So guys, that's up until 2014 lah. Maybe I'll share 2015 onwards what happened to Pondok Abang. So guys, stay tuned. If you guys have got any questions, you can just leave it under the comment section, then I'll reply to you guys, okay? So I wish everyone a blessed day ahead. And to the Muslims, this evening after Maghrib is Malam Nisfu Syaban. Please take the opportunity to make dua, to seek forgiveness, and may we all be able to experience Ramadan this year and experience Ramadan in a way that is better than the previous Ramadan. So guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.